Welcome to another Happy English podcast coming to you from New York City. And here's your English teacher, Michael.
All right. Thank you, John, and thanks, everyone. This is Happy English Podcast, episode 474, Can versus May. Hey, guys. The other day, one of my students was asking me about can and may. There are some similarities with how we use these words, so I thought that it would be an interesting idea to share that here on the podcast. So, for today's English lesson, let's have a look at how we can use can and may. First of all, let's talk about asking for something. We can use either can or may to ask for something, and may is considered to be a bit more formal and more polite sounding than can. You can ask your friend, "Can I borrow your pen?" Or, "May I borrow your pen?" At a cafe, you can order by asking, "Can I have a large coffee?" Or, "May I have a large coffee?" So, in cases like these, the grammar and usage is the same with can and may, but may is more polite sounding and formal. By the way, it's also possible to ask for something using could, as in, "Could I borrow your pen?" or "Could I have a large coffee?" Could is also more polite sounding than can, and keep in mind that these days we don't use might in these situations because it's considered to be very formal and old-fashioned. I can't imagine walking into a coffee shop and asking, "Might I have a large coffee?" To me, that sounds like one of those 1950s black and white movies. Next, let's talk about ability. When we want to say that a person has the ability to do something, either because of their efforts or the situation, we use can, not may. For example, I can play the guitar, but I can't play the drums. You can find a lot of great pizza shops in New York City. In the first example, I can play the guitar because I learned how to do it. In the second example, you can find a lot of pizza shops because of the situation here in New York. There were a lot of Italian immigrants in here in the last century who brought the pizza-eating culture to the city. So, we can use can when we talk about ability in general. On the other hand, we use may but not can when we talk about what is possible in the future. For example, according to the forecast, it may rain this weekend. I may go to Chicago next month. I'm still thinking about it. It's also possible to use might when we talk about what is possible in the future. For example, it might rain this weekend. I might go to Chicago next month. Some English textbooks tell you that might is weaker than may, and sometimes I hear that might is stronger than may. But to be honest, I think native speakers don't see a big difference between using may and might when we talk about future possibility. It may rain. It might rain. Both of those are pretty much the same in my opinion. By the way, in the negative, cannot and may not have a totally different meaning and usage. Cannot means it's not possible, and may not means it's not likely. Here are some examples. I can't play football. I'm not a team sports kind of guy. I may not go to the party tomorrow. I'm kind of tired. Well, that's our English lesson for today. If you want to read the examples in this lesson or get word-for-word transcripts of the Happy English podcast, just visit myhappyenglish.com and check lesson 475. By the way, transcripts up to and including this podcast will be available in April. Thanks for studying, and I'll see you next time at Happy English.
podcast was brought to you by Happy English. Please visit myhappyenglish.com. Show your support for Happy English by leaving us a review. Get English, get happy, Happy English.